All right, you guys, we're going to get started here in just a second. We're going to go over a case that was, well, there was a guy that was a sovereign citizen and he didn't win. All right, you guys. So I want to welcome you back again, or welcome me back again, I should say. Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. So you guys welcome me back. I have been gone like the whole entire week. It's been all just documents. I've been getting like a lot of things done that weren't done and that needed to be done. So those things were accomplished. I told you guys, and those of you that are in the trust group and such, you all already know that, like, and I went over actually on one of these audio or one of these videos. I went over my father's the nomination that he got for medals when he was in the military, and so I worked on that. I got that out to 5 different agencies, and I got that on public record. So I'm making some really great records for, for good reason, right? And that's kind of what we're all doing. Like we're all trying to create our own little paradigm so that it means something positive. Now I'm going to show you guys something here. I want to show you where it is. Okay. So this is off of first, before I go any further, I want to give you like the citation of where this is from. And I'm going to put this into a banner actually, so you guys can see it. Not a ticker, a banner. Man, I'll tell you guys, I've had the weirdest experiences in the last few days. So, on what day was that? On Saturday in the afternoon, I was, so many of you guys might know, or you may not know, that I travel and I stay in campgrounds sometimes, when I travel in my travel trailer. And so this one that I was at, I can't explain to you what happened, but I can tell you that I had this plastic jug in my hand, and I was like wondering why I was holding this jug in my hand. I couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, okay, well, I need to take it out. So I was going to take it outside, and I didn't take it outside. Well, I took it outside, but I just kept walking like I was going to the garbage can. And as I'm walking, I'm thinking, why am I walking to the garbage can with one measly single gallon empty jug? Why, because I never do that. I don't do that. I think about what I'm doing before I do it. And this time I just found myself like walking, just not even just like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And then I'm like not cursing myself, but I'm just like scorning myself on the same. Why are you doing that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, as I got about 2, 3, maybe 100 yards, I looked up and there was a man laying on the ground and another man like standing over him and a woman standing there. And I didn't know what was going on. And I didn't want to be nosy. And I said, do you guys need any help? And the guy that was on the ground said, call 911. And so I was like, oh, and there was no fight. It wasn't a fight or anything. It was, this man had had some problems like with his lungs or breathing. And I live in an altitude that's pretty high. So, yeah, everybody here is high. No, I'm just saying like the altitude is like 9,000 feet where I live. And so it's like, it's big, it's high. It's like, I mean, the Pikes Peak is only 14,000 feet. So it's 5,000. It's a mile underneath that. But you come from another place. And this man came from Texas. He came from Texas and to visit here. And when he did, he had problems breathing. And so he immediately, this other guy, now here's the story. This is a crazy story. the guy that was helping him on the ground, the woman was his wife. Okay. The man was the man on the ground. The one that was helping him was a guy that was camped right at the corner as you pull into the whole campground. So he saw the building. He could see everything that was in his view. That man, I talked to him after all this happened. Now I'm getting to a point of a story here, but after all of this stuff happened, I talked to this man and he says, you know what's crazy? He says, I just went to CPR school 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, whoa. Well, at the same time, when that happened, I was carrying the jug over there. Well, at that time, when I came running back, I was going back to get my phone, except I knew that the person that was in charge of this grounds, I knew where they were. And so I knew that they needed to know because this happened on their grounds and they were going to be needed at the front. So I went and grabbed them on my way back. It just like everyone was in a place at a certain time for this man. And so that was on Saturday. And they were planning on leaving that next day, and they couldn't leave that day because he had to go in that night for emergency surgery. It was 4 hours long, I was told. And today, like, I can't tell you guys, like, I'm so happy because there were a couple of times, like, I have to tell you what happened because I can't explain it, but I knew when I walked back after taking that gallon jug to the garbage can, okay, that ridiculous ass gallon jug that I just like, why do I have this gallon jug? I'm thinking, why? This is the dumbest thing I've ever done. I've never done this before. I would never do this again. Why am I doing this? Like, I'm arguing with my spirit almost like, no, I don't want to go to the garbage can. You need to go to the garbage can. I don't want to go to the garbage can. It was like that. That's the way I felt at the time. Okay. So you have to understand, first of all, I got beyond that. And then to find out all these things after was just really like, and then today, as I was coming back, now I ran into this lady. Now I didn't recognize her. Like, I don't pay attention to people. Like, I'm not looking at them going, oh, who are you? Who are you? Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't do that. I mind my own business. I take care of what I got to take care of, and I don't get into anybody else's business. I just do what I got to do. And so the lady, right after that, all that stuff happened, I was walking back and I said, is that your husband? And she said, like, she couldn't even hold her composure. And she said, yes. She like was trying to say it, but it was almost like she was processing, like, is it still my husband? Is he still here? You know, I can't even imagine. Like, I just saw pain all over her face and I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't even want to go there. But then, like, after that, I just told her, I said, if you need anything, because she has a dog. So I was like, if you need your dog taken out or whatever, you know, just let and Cheryl, the lady that was around here, she was helping too. There was another lady that was helping. So they were like, everybody came to help these people. And like, I didn't even know who they were. I didn't even know their names. Today is the most amazing thing that happened. And I was just so super overjoyed by it. As I was coming back, I was reversing to where I live. And I backed up and I could see the man that was laying on the ground that needed the help. He was now standing on his own, and he walked up and I rolled down the window, and I was backing up. He came to the passenger side and I said, can I shake your hand? And he said, I want to thank you so much for what you did. And, you know, everyone came together. And he said, and I don't even know the whole story. He said, we know this all happened for a reason, because we were taken out of our home. We were brought here to a safe place where all of these things happened. And that is a miracle in itself. And I was like, whoa, like, you guys can't make this stuff up, man. You just can't make it up. Like, things happen like that. And it's really amazing. And it's amazing to be like, oh gosh, I just can't even believe it. Like, you would think that that's a made up story, but it's really not a made up story. It's really like, and I don't even know the guy's name. I didn't even ask his name because I thought at the time, do I ask it? It really doesn't matter. And I could probably go to the place here and find out who it is. But like I said, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Like, I just felt like we were all one family at that time. And when I shook his hand, I just knew. Like, you should have seen the guy's face. It was just so, he was so humbled by everything. And I told him, I said, one thing I did say, I said, you know, I can tell you this one thing from experience, if I can tell you anything. I said, that's to be grateful that what happened to you brought a whole bunch of people together. And you could see all those people be brought together into one place. And the most important part, you're still here, man. Because the only time that I've ever been to, another gathering like that where people came together for that reason was when someone died. And so it's too late to be grateful then. So, like, to me, I was like, dude, you just got a gift. And he knew it. He knew it. You know, I mean, he was in his late 60s. So he's an older guy and he needs to take better care of his health. But, you know, they don't know what I do. They don't know I do this or anything like that. They don't know where I come from. They don't, like, and it's okay. Like, I'm fine with that. I'm just glad the guy's okay. They get to go home to their family. Like, their kids came out and they're driving their stuff back for them. So, like, man, I guess, like, you know, that's the thing you got to do is look at the positive side of stuff. Because there's so many other ways that, you know, we can be lost in this realm of confusion. It is a world of confusion. But we look at the positive things. Like, we look at that, and I saw that, and I could just see, like, that lady went from, like, cold in the face to, like, not knowing what her existence was going to be from that point on. I couldn't even imagine. Like, you see your husband laying on the ground and you don't know how to help him. That's what happened. And then some strangers are around doing stuff that you don't even know, and you're talking to people that, well, that's another thing. They couldn't get through to the people on the phone because they weren't answering. Like, isn't that amazing? We have 911 services that are like, we'll call you back. And they did. They called back like 5 minutes later. But these people are, you know, they're like, they were freaking out. There was just a bunch of people that came in to help, guys. And it was so cool. It was cool to watch because, you know, we think and we're fed all this stuff. Oh, no, people hate and people this and people that, people this, people that. No, you know what? People just love just as much as they ever have loved. They do have a little bit of skepticism because they've been screwed over by, well, the people that allowed other people to screw people over. And that's the system. It has nothing to do with this. But I do want to, like, I got to give proper, hold on just a second. I got to give proper notice of this. And this is, so this is taken from Sovereign Citizen Movement channel. It's called Old Squishy Gardens Court Watch. And it's on YouTube. And let me see. I got to make a, there we go. I can do this. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Old Squishy Gardener's Court Watch. So I'm going to take you guys to this. I'm going to share this with you, actually, real quick. And then we can go into... All right, so this is Old Squishy Garden, all right? This is YouTube, Old Squishy Garden, all right? So Old Squishy Garden's Court Wash, OSG's Court Wash. So you guys can subscribe and you can go to that. And this is the website here. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put this into create a banner. There we go. And now, there we go. I'm going to add that. I don't know if that showed up or not, but if it didn't, it's okay. It will be there when it's there again. But anyways, so what I wanted to do is show you guys this video. We're going to play parts of this video. I'm going to go over some things in this video. And what we're going to talk about is exactly what happened to our friend here. And our friend just happens to be, what is his name? Let's see if we can find this guy's name. So we're going to talk about Clyde Darnell Lynch. Okay, that's his name. Clyde Darnell Lynch. All right. Clyde Darnell Lynch is a primary example of the inequities in a courtroom. So when you walk into a courtroom, you guys wonder, why am I getting like this? Why is this happening? What happened here? What's going on here? So there's things that happen that are automatically set up in the rules of the statutory world that are automatically inequitable. They don't conform or purport to anything equitable from the beginning. But it's one's responsibility, and I say one's meaning our responsibility, to recognize that this is a thing. And the recognition of that matter and the acknowledgement of that matter is what gives you authority to keep moving and doing other things. So I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to comment on some things. And this thing's about 38 minutes long, but I don't think we're going to be able to get through 38 minutes of it. I don't think anybody wants to get through 38 minutes of it. It's kind of torturous because it brings people back into like these courtroom situations. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through it for you guys, and then I'm going to explain to you like what's happening, okay? Exactly what's happening. So from the beginning, we're going to go into this video. So from the beginning, here we go. Let me shut up. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to also, I think I need to select it. I need to stop sharing real quick and give you guys sound on this. Let's see. Okay, so it's gonna make me do this instead, which is okay. It's fine. I just need to open these windows up. All right. So here we're sharing audio. Oh, by the way, I got a Tostito here. Tell me if you guys can hear this. I'm looking into chat, so tell me you guys can hear this.
The following program contains mature content and is the truth. No part herein is intended to be legal advice and is for entertainment purposes only. Audience discretion is advised.
Did you guys hear that? Okay, cool. Thank you, Chad. Appreciate it. All right. So I'm going to go and we're going to play this, and I'm going to show you guys from the beginning. So let's get started here.
City of Detroit versus Clyde Darnell Lynch.
Okay, so let's just stop there. What they just said, Clyde Darnell Lynch. Okay, they're reading the statutory name. They're reading the entity that was created by the state. Okay, so that's what he's doing right now.
Case numbers SP 153.
Now, what he's doing is putting the account number on the record.
7940 counts 1 and counts 2. SP 1.
Okay, so he's making an accounting for the accounts. All right, he's just putting them on the record. Number 1, number 2, number 3. This is what an accounting department would need in order to process payment, in order for somebody to get paid.
155 4736 counts 1 and counts 2. SP 155 8135 counts 2 and counts 3.
Okay, so all of these things he's reading off are statutes. A statute is a will of the legislature. So someone said, this is what our will is, and we are creating this for an accounting for this amount. So each one of those statutory citations that he's reading off has an accounting amount to it, already assigned, pre-assigned to it. It's just like a billing. It's like this, like when you go down a menu and you say, oh, pork chops, that's $5, steaks at $20. Like that's how that looks. It's just in a different way.
SP 159 0696 counts 1 and counts 2. SP 153 79421. SP 155 47541.
Okay, so you notice at this point in time, they don't have there is nobody, like, he's just reading a record. Okay, there's nothing happening right now. He's just reading a record out loud, and, like, there's nobody involved. Okay, so I want you to pay attention. We're going to see where this comes in. And mind this, we're on a Zoom. Okay, so this is a Zoom.
SP 159-06951. Appearance for the record, please.
Okay, appearance for the record, please. You hear that? Appearance for the record. So he's making a record of who is appearing on behalf of the name.
Pauline Stroking, BF Mr. Lynch.
Mr. Lynch, state your name for the record, please.
Okay, do you see the attorney just came on and stated her record on behalf of this man? Okay.
You have to unmute, sir.
Good. You can hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. State your name for the record, please.
Clyde Darnell Lynch.
See, okay, so now hang on. What we just did, Clyde, you don't do that. Clyde, you naughty. You naughty, Clyde, and you sideways. You know, go sideways on me, Clyde. I don't know why Clyde went sideways here, but he did. So when he came on and just said that, okay, there's a difference, guys. All right. Hang on just a second. So we think of another word that is it is similar but not the same. Okay, so let me see if I can find you a really good example of that. Okay. And this is going to make things easier to teach you on this. So, okay, this is a great one. Okay, so John Smith, S-M-I-T-H, and John Smith, S-M-Y-T-H, are the same. Okay, in the sound, when you say John Smith, they're both John Smith. But when this man came up, see, the judge was reading an all caps name, John Michael Doe. The man came on and said the same thing that the judge said, but the judge was saying something different that the man didn't know the judge was saying because he couldn't see what the judge was reading, which is why it's called spelling. It's magic. It's word magic. It's casuistry. It's like not showing everything that's there, but someone's agreeing to it. And that's how people get sucked into these agreements. So let's keep watching.
And Mr. Lynch is 52. He says since he was 12, he stopped taking count of his age. Or 11. Which one was it, Mr. Lynch?
Okay, I want you guys to see. He said since 12, he stopped keeping track of his age, so he doesn't know his age. So which one is it, Mr. Lynch? Now, he's just asked him a question. If he answers the question, he just agreed to being what he said. He's playing along. So if he plays along, now he's become the surety for this matter. 12, he just
12.
said it. He just gave permission.
Officer E.
Do you guys see that? He just gave him permission by answering that question. Which one was it, Mr. So-and-so, 11 or 12? That judge just made that up. That is how tricky they are. He made it up to give him two choices, and the only two choices that were there were 11 or 12. And the man bit one of them and it didn't matter whether he chose one or the other. He couldn't choose any one of them. That's the whole point. If you choose one, you're automatically in that game and what he just brought you into. That's the trick. So watch this, guys.
John, good morning to you. Can you put your appearance on the record, Mr.
Okay,
Lynch?
another appearance for Mr. Lynch. Another appearance for Mr. Lynch.
Good morning, sir. Officer Eddie Dunn, 3036, Detroit Police Department.
Okay, so this is this Officer Dunn.
Good morning to you. Corporal Bennett is here for Lynch as well. Trying to pull him out the breakout room. Today is the date and time set for a trial. Mateo's not here. Tanti is not here.
Okay, so they're talking about the witnesses that are there to appear against him. Now, again, these are state witnesses. They're not, these aren't witnesses that, like a man and a woman, okay? They are they're a member of a company and they are swearing in under the company to do these things, okay? But there's leverage that men and women have because you guys are considered a corporate entity as well. So when we realize that it's not really what you seem is, what you're seeing is not what's really happening. It's just a perception that you're being given so that you'll play along. So let's keep going.
We're dealing with 6 tickets.
Okay, now he's bringing, let's bring fear into it because now you're going to be able to coerce people. See, this man mentally is on the bench and he's mentally preparing like to build up suspense against this man. So when he goes to ask him what he's going to do, he will acquiesce, he'll give in, and it's a psychological game.
The rest of them are going to be dismissed, and probably some of the 6 will be too. No offers on the expired plates, $145. Another in an improper plate. Well, here we go. Well,
okay,
ones
now he's bringing in like more additional stuff. It's just noise to pile stuff on. So just keep listening.
So it goes like this: a failure to display, $240 fine. That officer's not here. So on the tickets, the officers are not here. We only have 2 expired plates.
Okay, let me explain something. If the witness isn't there, the case is dismissed, period. If the witness is not there, the case is dismissed. But see, he's making it sound like, well, they're just not here and we'll have to bring them back another time. No. If you're ever in that situation, that's a dismissed case. You can't produce the witnesses, then that's not my problem. You need to bring them today or then it's over. This is done. I'm not going to keep coming back and agreeing to like wait on people that want to have like a reservation to incriminate me later. That's the dumbest thing. That's the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. So like you guys need to do the same thing and just realize that you don't do that. Like we don't do that.
3 expired plates. And then 2 of those officers, 4 expired plates. And 2 of those officers.
See, the more he's talking about this and the more that he's not objecting, the more he's accepting. You guys see, he's digging at 3 and 4 and like this guy hasn't said a word. He hasn't said like those, it doesn't apply. Nothing happens. This isn't how it's supposed to be. I didn't do anything. I don't like, he doesn't say anything. I'm not saying argue, but he's not saying anything at all. He's just gone silent on the record. And silence is consistent that equitable doctrines are running. So, I mean, that's a good thing if it's in your favor, but if it's on you and you're silent, then it's not a good thing. So let's keep going.
Officers are not here. The offer as it's written in the file, Mr. Berry. I mean, who's on it, Mr. Lynch? Soroka?
I didn't talk to him at first. I did respond when you just called it, so.
Yeah, no, I know, so as it's written in the file, it's failure to display, $240 fine. Improper plate submitted from no insurance, $240 fine.
No objections.
And then 4 counts of expired plates, $145 a piece. But there's officers that are not here.
Yeah, it's dismissed, dude.
The breakout room and you and Mr. Lynch have a conversation.
Okay, so as he's agreeing, the more this man is saying, the more he's laying out the record and saying to people, he's saying, well, we don't have this and we don't have that. And this man's just agreeing, like, it's okay to not have that. Like, it's notice, guys. It's notice. If someone says, well, I don't have a receipt, but I want you to give me my money back. Like, no, you can't do that. If you don't speak up and say what it is, you're going to accept something you don't want. So that's the whole point, guys and gals, is to make sure that, when people are speaking, and these people will just keep talking. They'll just keep talking and talking and talking, like blah 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 blah, wah 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 wah. And it's like, as they talk, it's just to keep the conversation so that you don't get distracted. So you consistently keep in the flow of having to follow whatever it is that's going on, that's happening. So let's keep going here.
You want to navigate this, all right?
Yes.
All right, let's go back on the record for Mr. Lynch.
Mr. Lynch, again, that's not a private civilian. That's a citizen.
We do not have resolution, Your Honor. So my client indicates that he wants to go to trial. He indicates he sent document. Did he come out yet? I don't want to talk when he's not.
No. Well, he's got, the thing about it is he's got these other, all these, the only offers that are on the table really, I mean, the only offers that are on the table are Dunn and Bennett.
Right. There's 2 no insurance, 2 suspended, and 2 improper, or 2
So as it's written in the file, it would only be 2 expired plates unless
Do you guys see how
unless the city's amending that but it's only 2 expired.
Do you see how chaotic this is? Like, this is just blah. Who wants to, who could do this job? Who could be a clerk and go and sit in there and just hear all this chaos all day, all this negative, blah, 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 blah. The other day I was telling, I was talking to one of the admins, and I'm not going to say it just for the sake, because I don't want anybody bugging them, but they had gone to a court hearing, and they said that in the court hearing, they could see all of the things that were going on, and it was just it made them sick because they were recognizing what was happening right now. And when you go in and you are put into these predicaments, you realized these things. See, guys, I've been put in these situations. I went in on one situation on April 25th of 2022, I think. April 25th of 2022, I think it was. No. I take that back. April 25th of 2019. April 25th of 2019. I know that because it was the day after my birthday. So here's what happened. I went into this court hearing, and this is for allegation of a DUI. And I was sitting at a gas station at the time. And I'm not going to rehash the whole thing. I was sitting at a gas station. Someone followed me out as I pulled out. I didn't even get gas because it didn't have premium unleaded that I needed to get for the truck that I was driving. And so I went out and just literally pulled around the corner, and this officer followed, and he pulled into a private parking lot and then flipped on his lights. And he went through and ran through with he called a dog. They had a dog there. There was no accusations of any drugs or anything. And they had a dog go and search through the vehicle, and they impounded the vehicle. They took my dog and took it down to the pound and impounded the dog. So I had a whole bunch of a heap of stuff. And I stayed in jail because they had this huge bond on me. So I ended up getting a notice on the next Thursday. They called me and said that you need to go and get your dog out of the pound, or we're going to euthanize her. And so I had to call family and tell them look, I need to get out, or I need somebody to come and get her out, because I wasn't going to let my dog get euthanized. So, but that's what they'll do. They don't care. No one cares. No one cares about your vehicle. No one cares about anything. And they play hardball, guys and gals. They will play hardball. Okay. When you guys, and I'm just going to say, I'm going to tell you guys what I did. I wouldn't do things the same way at the time, but when I found out all the stuff that they were doing and that the tow yard was involved in all this stuff, I went and paid and got my vehicle out, and then I went and stopped payment on that because it was fraud. It was fraud, man. I didn't want to have any part of anything that was going on that I didn't know what was going on in the background exactly. I do now, but I didn't then. And now that I know, it's okay, no, I'm glad I didn't get involved in that, because that's somebody else's drama, man. That's just that's all negative stuff. And these tow yards get involved in stuff where, they got the police now as their friends. It's their own little personal military to brutalize other people. And that's not okay. That's what it became. I'm not kidding, because I used to work for a tow yard. I know how that works too. I worked at this tow yard, and these people in the tow yard that ran the business, they would go and have people sit in the apartment complexes and just wait for somebody to pull up and run inside and then go jack their car and pull it. Just when it was just somebody, you know what I mean? Somebody's just trying to honestly run in real quick and do something and just because of a policy and policy enforcers, they end up getting, you know, into a situation where they owe something. So it sucked, man. It really sucks that even happens. We better get moving because I'm only like 4 minutes into this and we're like 30, 40 minutes into it. So we got to get moving.
Fire plates, $145 a piece.
All right, let me go back in and tell him again.
Okay, so now they're going to go and work him over
On
again.
the offer sheet.
This is
Does he have a license suspended?
okay. So this is now where they're all ganging up on the guy, like trying to create all the accounting. What can we do? How about this? How about that? How about this? How about that? And like literally they're creating, like, this is just the swarm, guys. It's like the prey has now agreed and now we're going to go after it. We're going to the counting. Go for the count.
Did Your Honor? I mean, does he have a good ballot license?
No.
Oh,
No,
we got to
I
get
don't,
into
I
that.
don't, I don't know that. I haven't run that, but the way that the offer was written, the only cases that you wanted Mr. Lynch to plead to was the Dunn expired plate and the Bennett expired plate. And
Yeah.
then,
Bennett has a license suspended.
yes, so why don't you rearrange the offer then?
Yeah, well, I would just give him. I'll give him
You
one
see,
FTD and one
car
expired plate.
salespeople.
He
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
want to accept that.
How about he takes-
indicates he's
How about he takes 2 oranges and a peach for a watermelon? I mean, does it seem like, do you guys hear what's going on? How about I give him this? Like, it's a privilege. We want to present this guy with just this amazing thing. So, this is crazy. Like, when you watch this from this perspective, you see a different thing happening.
sent documentation to the court in the past. He's taken his case to the Supreme Court. He did a FOIA request. There's a lot of things I don't really understand what he's talking about, but our communication's close to breaking down. I'll just say that.
Sounds like it. Bring them out then. Go back in there and bring them out. I'm trying.
I prompted him out. Okay, let me try again.
All right. All right, Mr. Lynch, giving you an opportunity to speak to counsel. It's, I'm trying to understand, you want to contest these matters?
I had to go back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, yeah, I had to go back in because I didn't get no prompt. I had to go back in to join in through 36 district court.
This guy's talking about
website.
Zoom.
Well,
The judge is like,
listen, what we're
let's get to the
saying
case.
is that we're trying to get you an offer, but it's my understanding after talking
It's business.
with your lawyer that that you don't want to
Your
accept
broker.
anything. What do you want to do? What do you want to do?
The thing is, I don't know what court cases is being brought up. The recent ones or the one that I already have a trial for.
Okay, so when you got so
I
many
think
cases that you don't know which case it is, and one's for the trial for something else, and like you're confused, you need to give people notice and let them know before you show up at this thing, because like, yeah, he's in dishonor right now, and like that's just
all
what
of
it
the
is.
cases that are on the docket, everything that's on the docket, that you already had all this stuff set for trial. And what we did probably, okay, I see what
I
happened.
sent some paperwork in, but some of those cases I got kicked out of Zoom. I send in the pictures
Okay.
through that document website.
Sorry, guys.
And-
I hate to tell you, but none of these things, Zoom not working, my internet not working, yeah. This is not, listen, they don't care. You agreed to sign the thing. If your internet doesn't work at the time that you want to argue something you already agreed to, too bad. Sorry, have a nice day.
I don't know, and I sent paperwork to the law department
Too bad.
for a FOIA
For
for
FOI.
the court cases.
Debtor stuff.
Okay,
Debtor
what
creditor.
documents did you
FOIA is
send
debtor
in to the
creditor.
court?
It was the case where I had got kicked out of Zoom, and I sent in the pictures where I got kicked out of Zoom. I
See,
think
he's
that was the January.
This guy's arguing
the-
whether he got kicked out of Zoom or not. Okay, so he's saying, I wasn't at the last hearing to have even a thing. He's at this hearing arguing about the last hearing. Never going to win. that.
January of this year case, and they was like, if I sent in the pictures showing that I was kicked out of the room because I thought the case was dismissed, and
I thought,
got kicked out.
so I'm going to tell you something, sovereign citizens, and I'm just going to call it what it is. Like you can say that word doesn't exist, but I'm going to say that we're going to make up a word like a dunce cap expert. How about that? And instead of calling it a sovereign citizen, we'll just say a dunce cap expert. And well, these people put on dunce caps and they wear them very well because this system that's created isn't for you. And when you go in and try to pretend like you know what you're doing, then you end up creating these things and making yourself look like you're not very intelligent. So,
okay, so what, do you have any documents that relates to your driver's license?
okay, so this judge is going to get eventually. He's going to start going into the cases, okay? And the guy doesn't even know what he put on the paper. And this is often what happens. People go in and they'll put paperwork. Someone's like, hey, go file this. And they'll put paperwork in and they'll cite cases and they don't even know what the cases mean or what they do. So they have no argument. They just have paperwork and they're hoping that this paperwork is going to do something for them. In reality, the paperwork actually handicaps them because it puts them at a point where they can't explain what really happened in their own words. It puts them trying to go to another place and trying to figure out what it says.
Insurance or registration?
Like told the lady, Dearborn, the one I meet him, the judge, I mean, the person that I talked to on the last court case said, we don't have no problems with you. And I said, I'm going through the process of doing my documents to take care of Dearborn because Dearborn the one that got it hemmed out. They didn't honor none of my paperwork.
They didn't honor. Nobody has to honor. Nobody has to honor your paperwork, guys. No one has to honor your paperwork, which is why you have enforcement, because you created what you created. Like, no one's going to agree to anything you want to do because you want to do private stuff. You want things privately. Like, in private, there's not a lot in it for them, okay? They will be in business, yes, but they don't get to rape and pillage. I mean, that's a lot more fun to rape and pillage, right? I mean, I wouldn't know, but I'm sure that these people find it more entertaining and more profitable for them to go do something like that.
We're talking about Detroit. Do you have any documents? Hold on, let me ask my question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask my question. Do you have any documents that suggest that you have valid insurance?
Okay, so I want to tell you, this is a question too. This is a trick question. So Murdoch versus Pennsylvania is in this guy's citation. And this judge knows that it's in there, but it's not the judge's job to pull the equity out of the paper. Do you understand that? I think this guy probably has equity in his paper just from what's being said, because the way he's asking the questions right now, do you have any paperwork? Okay. So in other words, the judge is acting like, I don't see anything in all of this right here. I don't see anything that says that this is this or what you're saying, but it's right there on the paper. You see, you have to be able to point them to it and say, no, it is right there. And this is what it says. So keep listening.
Valid registration and a valid I can run your driver's license.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything because Dearborn the one that got me hemmed up. I can't even get no insurance without no license.
So now he just told him that, well, he just gave himself away. Like, he just acquiesced to that.
Okay, so so what we're trying to do, every case that you have down here in Detroit, we call into the record.
Okay, so now this is where this is why I tell you guys, the reason that this is significant is because he is reading he's giving the man equity. See, like, he's like, do you have any paperwork that has this on it? And the judge knows it's on the paperwork and the man doesn't even know. So he's giving him, again, another chance because he put it into the record. Now the judge is putting it into the record for him. Watch.
And we have two officers. The other cases are going to be dismissed, but we have two officers here that are here. And what we're trying to do is either make a resolution now, and we'll present you with an offer. And if you don't like the offer, you can just go to trial. Today is the date and time set.
Yeah, go ahead.
Today is the date and time set for trial. So are you willing to entertain an offer to resolve the cases, or do you want a trial on all the cases?
I mean, which did you say some of them are gonna get dismissed? I only have two. I know the one that I recently got.
He's like,
everything is for the same
he's got
thing.
so many options.
Yes. So
he doesn't know which one to pick now.
Here's the deal. Let me break it down to you.
None of them are his.
Two officers that are here. Corporal Bennett wrote you 1, 2.
These guys are like literally counting their checks right now. Like they're putting together. Everybody's in the background going, "Okay, he agreed to this, and he agreed to this, and he agreed to this. And now we just got to figure out. Now we're getting down to what he didn't agree to, and it doesn't look like a lot."
3. 1, 2, 3 tickets that are up to date. And Officer Dunn wrote you 1, 2, 3 tickets that are up to date. The other officers that wrote you tickets are not showing up.
Wrote you tickets. You is the name. You wrote you tickets, not the man that's talking to him, but the name.
Have not showed up, and we're just going to automatically dismiss those cases. So we can get you an offer.
Oh, now we got a good deal. We got a good deal for you.
On the 6 tickets that those 2 officers wrote you. Are you willing to entertain the offer for those 6 tickets?
Benny and Dunn, Benny is the recent case, so that one I want to go to trial. I think the one I'm in trial for now is Dunn, correct?
You're on trial for both of them. Dunn and Bennett are set for trial right now.
So nobody received my paperwork, my traveling paperwork?
What is the paperwork gonna tell us?
Basically, I don't need no driver license, et cetera, et cetera.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Proof of insurance, and my car was towed illegally those 2 times.
Et cetera, et cetera.
What does the paperwork say why you don't need a driver's license?
Okay, first of all, hold on. First of all, it's not his car. It's the state's car, okay? It's not his name. It's the state's name. And let's listen to this.
Why you don't need any insurance
Tell
or
me why
anything
you.
like
Tell
that?
me what gives me the reason that you don't need that stuff is what he asked him.
I'll send the paperwork into the law department.
I sent the paperwork into the law department. Now he's like, I sent it into the law department. Please see the paperwork. I don't know what the hell it says, but go look at it, Your Honor.
And I wanted the FOIA for the body cam.
FOIA. Like this guy doesn't. I don't even know if he comprehends what he's saying. He's just regurgitating what people taught him. That's common, and I'm not like making fun of the fact that he doesn't know. It's the fact that we try to go and be something that we're not, and we try to play that authority. And these people know. Listen, these people know every single transaction that you've done in your bank account. Okay, they have access to all of your accounts right behind in the courtroom. So this is not like you're not pulling any wool over anyone's eyes. When you say, no, I haven't had a job in 2 years and they've got your whole accounting for what you made the last year, you're lying to them. And they know you're in dishonor, which is why they treat you like crap. So you don't belong in that place. And like, that's the reason why.
Dash cams. And I haven't heard anything from them.
All right, we can get you that. We can get you that. If there's some that exists. Corporal Bennett, can you put your appearance record, Corporal Bennett? Hold on, Mr. Lynch.
Yes, Your Honor. Corporal Daryl Bennett, badge 4320, Detroit Police Department.
All right. So we need to get if there's any body cam or dash cam.
See, now
we need to get that to.
Now they've got him down in negotiation status. So he asked for something. Now they abide by that request, and now he's asking for a benefit, and they're giving it to him. So this is how you get into a contract deeper.
Mr. Lynch.
He has to go through the law department to get that, Your Honor. If he's requesting it, he has to go through the law department.
Well, that's what he said he tried to do. He said he tried to figure. Let's see if we can get that now.
We can't get, Your Honor, our person that would do that is on vacation at this point. There's nobody in the office that can get that for him today.
Okay, can I say something for the traffic box?
I'm going to tell you what, this guy, if he would have shut his mouth, the judge was about to give him equity because they just said they couldn't do what they needed to do, what the judge wanted. They just said they couldn't do it, and this man just screwed it up by coming in and butting in right now.
Ticket that was done. The other officer
no.
Your Honor, can we just get an adjourn date when the people think they can have their video available?
Yeah, but I wanna just, what I'm trying to do is I don't want you to say anything as it relates to the traffic stops right now, because today is the date and time set for trial. But I'm gonna tell you this. you're suggesting, it sounds like you were suggesting that you don't have to have license or registration or insurance. Is that what you were saying?
I have documentation of that.
Okay. Now hold on. Let's go back. The judge just said you are saying that you don't need these things. And this guy jumps right in and says, yeah, I. Do you see? Like, this is just nuts.
Supreme Court rulings, yes.
All right, well, you need to get me that documentation because
Well, what's
I
the
need
email
to
so I can send it to you?
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Okay, my phone not seeing none of that. Only thing I'm seeing on my cell phone now. If I was on my desktop, remember last time I had issues with my desktop, so I'm on the cell phone and I don't see no chat or anything.
Well, you should be able to hit the button down there and it should
Okay,
pop
let me
up.
see. Can I see something? Cause all I see a whole bunch of squares with everybody's face.
You gotta come out of that screen.
Huh?
You gotta come out of that screen.
What screen I gotta come out of?
The one, you have to come out of the screen where everybody's face is.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. I don't want to lose it. I don't want to get kicked out like I just did when I was in the breakout room.
Yeah, it is a train wreck.
You didn't get kicked out. We pulled you. All right.
I had to join back in I had to go back to 36th District Court website, get back in the Zoom room.
Okay. All right, let's pass the matter and we'll try to figure out how to help you with the technology. And in the meantime, we need to do you want an attorney appointed to you, sir?
I've been trying to get an attorney. Nobody will take my case. So how if the appointed attorney don't want to accept my paperwork, then I'm up the creek like in Dearborn. So that's why I'm trying to study how to write the court cases all the way to the Supreme Court. So I'm doing that right now.
All right. Well,
Dearborn is the reason why my license is suspended.
I really want to see what you're talking about, Supreme Court, because I've never seen a Supreme Court case. Wait a minute. Let me finish. I've never seen a Supreme Court case that says that you don't have to have a license or insurance or registration. Now I'll tell you this. I'll admit, I haven't seen all the Supreme Court cases, but I have never seen that. And I've seen a thousand people come in here saying that. Well, not 1,000, but a whole lot. And I've never seen it work.
So when Mr. Bennett Officer Bennett pulled me over, he was like, no, I ain't. He said, I ain't going for that sovereignty stuff. I said, I don't know what that is. I'm talking constitutional Supreme Court ruling, and they told my car.
Constitutional Supreme.
All right, well, send me the
constitutional.
Supreme Court ruling. I want to see that.
Constitutional Supreme Court doesn't exist. It doesn't exist because we're in war powers. We're in emergency war powers right now. So, and it's emergency powers. I say emergency powers, like they just keep declaring one thing after another, whether it's a crisis or like whether it's emergencies down in because of hurricanes or whether it's like, whatever it is, it's always an emergency, and that suspends constitutional framework and it makes it under a military jurisdiction so that they can just do things more expeditiously. And it's kind of preservation of the company. That's really what it is. It comes down to company preservation. So, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this.
I don't see the where I can send it.
You see how many problems this guy's having? People don't have this many problems all the time.
And then send it to me, and then I'll pass it, and I'll wait till I get your document. You have an ink pen?
Yeah, I have a pen.
All right.
Do you guys see? What the thing I have problems with is that this man can do it to another man, like it could be his friend. I mean, they could be friends in a different place, but not here.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna get it online and send it on my laptop.
I'm gonna be anxiously awaiting that.
Okay, so the judge is waiting on a document.
I'm gonna send the law department thing too.
I'll be anxiously waiting all of that. And
See, the judge knows.
It looks like Corporal Bennett.
What the guy doesn't know is what it's about.
Officer Dunn is gonna be anxiously awaiting it. Prosecutor Mason is gonna be anxiously awaiting it, and
See,
I'm sure.
he's mocking him.
Ms.
He's mocking him because he knows that this document has no relevancy on anything, but we've got to get over it. We've got to get over that. And so once he overcomes that, there's no other objections, and now he has clean accounting.
Soroki is gonna be, and everybody else in the room. Because this could be some groundbreaking stuff right here. All right, pass the matter. All right, pass the matter. All right, Mr. Greer. Let's go back on the record with Delonzo Greer. Mr. Greer, I hope you've approached this situation with a different attitude. Unmute yourself, please.
I'm unmuted.
I hope you've approached this situation with a different attitude, sir.
Yeah.
It doesn't appear to. Actions speak louder than words, and your verbal communication says no. So
Okay, so I'm gonna for you guys, I'm gonna leave that where it is for right now for today. I have for the members, I have you guys. Remember, I created those private rights, and I have that. What I'm gonna do is give that to you guys in the morning. First thing, I'll make that available so you guys can get that. And maybe I'll just I don't know, I'll figure out a way that members can get that on the website itself. And then what I'll do is we'll come in and pick up where this guy left off yesterday. And we'll pick up where this guy came in, slouched down in his vehicle. So we'll talk more about this, and we can give you guys, show you guys some of the things that are happening so that you can realize that, when we're dealing with court cases and stuff, it's not what we believe it is. Like all this stuff, there's a whole bunch more in the background that's happening. And if you have, let's just say, I'm going to say this, for those of you that are listening that maybe are having trouble with stuff or maybe dealing with a case, find one that is like yours. Find a charge that's like yours and send it to me, and then I'll tear it apart. We'll do the same thing with it. I have no problem with teaching you guys like this. I mean, as long as no one is upset by it, this is all just education, because it's the other side of a piece of information that you don't always see. So let's keep peeling back the layers for you guys and show you guys exactly what this does, and we can go, we can go from there. It will create awareness for you guys so that you know what not to do in the future. What, when you create something, the things that you can say and you can say with conviction, you can say with authority, and you can say with confidence, because this man was all over the place. But there's so many ways you could have just handled this. In this court case, he just acquiesced. He agreed to so many things, and he didn't even know it. He's just sitting there going, okay, well, now he's doing this. Now he's doing this. Our minds are not thinking the way that these guys are. They're so far ahead of us in the thinking way. But once we learn that, once we get that, it doesn't become a challenge anymore. So I appreciate you guys for coming out today. I appreciate you guys also so much for being patient with me, because I got so many documents done. I'll show you today. I literally recorded four more documents at the county recorder. So those went online, and then I had 2 of them that were done on the 3rd of July. Last week. So, so I've just got a ton of stuff that I've been doing, and I am also, I'll have more for you guys next week. But I should have some sort of injunction either this week or the beginning of next week on the things that I've been working on. So, I sent off, affidavits, yesterday, emailed them off. I also told you guys that I was doing the thing for my father's nomination for the Medal of Honor. He received the Silver Star in 2010 from John McCain, and there were 5 other people who received the Medal of Honor, and only my father and another man who was from Puerto Rico got the Silver Star. So my contention is, I can show you 3 court cases that happened between 2001 and 2011 that show where they were upgraded to the Medal of Honor. my dad did the same shit that everybody else did. So give him what he deserves. He's blind. He can't see anymore. And, you know, so like you guys need to give him what he deserves. He did this shit under the auspices of, you know, like coercion and temptation. And, you know, you tempt people with like, you can go chase this American dream and be this hero, when in reality, it's just an adoption of like all of these beliefs that we would never adopt on our own, but they're being covered up, and it's someone else's dream that's been embellished on a billboard and glorified. And there's nothing glorious about it, because it's not helping other people, and anything that's not helping other people is hurting them. So I listen, I really commend all of you people for all of the stuff you do. There's no bad positions or jobs that we have. And we have all been like misled in a lot of ways, especially from the people that were misled before us. And they didn't mean to, but we just have to like take that into account. We have to pick up the pieces. We have to take accountability for every single thing that we did. And we have to redo things the right way. And that's by doing that, you know it. You go into a place like this video that I just showed you, and if you do go there, you tell them what you're doing, because you're not there to receive any orders from anybody. You belong to Creator, your Creator, not any corporation. And they need you to say that you don't know who you belong to. And once you agree that, you know, you don't belong to anybody, they claim you, and now you're subordinate to them. So it's knowing your position and knowing who you are. You guys have an amazing day. I appreciate you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. I yield.